And good evening to everybody, and welcome to another teachings on the wisdom of emptiness. And it's like the pinnacle of teachings during the entire Discovering Buddhism course. And today's meditation will be in two parts. The first being where we cultivate concentration, and it will change over to a meditation on the eye. So just start by getting set, finding the right position for you to engage in this meditation, being part of this community, allowing yourself to give in for some thoughts, concentration, and you will just do a short motivation, thinking, why are you doing this practice? For whose benefit? And if you're the first person in your mind thinking, maybe I could go fast to enlightenment, and once being enlightened, maybe I could do something for others. Maybe I could even do something for a lot of people, even those that are difficult to love, difficult to reach, sentient beings, mind possessors that you don't know about. In general, the three levels of motivation, ending with the altruistic motivation, Mahakaruna. And during this meditation, we will be cultivating concentration. And we need good concentration to cultivate knowledge of emptiness, especially if we wish to cultivate the direct experience of it. And you will also think that in order to becoming enlightened, we need to have a direct realization of emptiness. And in order to do that, we need to cultivate calm abiding, shamatha, shine. And you may have noticed that from time to time when listening to teachings, you generate some sort of fleeting glimpses of what has been spoken about. And we need to hold on to such understanding to expand it. If it is fleeting, it will have little impact on us. It might not be even sufficient to make us doubt that there is something wrong with our ordinary experience. So now when developing concentration, when moments of insight arise, we will be able to sustain them for longer and longer periods of time, allowing us to cultivate the mind of wisdom. And we will also recall that in order to eliminate ignorance, we need to cultivate wisdom and there disclose our adventitious I, like some sort of I frozen in time and space, existing from its own side. And once this ignorance is defeated by us seeing clearly, directly, liberation and enlightenment are close at hand. But we will be starting with some sort of breathing meditation. So just start by watching your breath without getting distracted. See if you can identify the policeman alertness, recalling when you are distracted. You don't need to think a lot about your breath. You don't even need to conceptualize about the oxygen in the air passing through the tissue of the lungs, going into the blood, entering through the nostrils. Simply just take the object of breathing, thinking about the breathing, but don't let your mind stray from that. If the policeman, the alertness, identify that you're straying away, remember what you're doing right now. That's the mindfulness, thinking about what's the purpose, what am I doing? Breathing, concentrating. The world is passing outside your body, and just allow it to pass on. Don't need to intervene, engage, think about it, do anything about it, change it, categorize it, conceptualize it. It's just happening. This alertness is also called vigilance, where you identify when the mind is straying away. Allow yourself to just be in the breath and in the concentration for a short moment of time. If you detect some sort of dullness, laxity, recall why you're doing this practice. Some uplifting thoughts, thinking about your teachers, your gurus, and thinking about emptiness, creating some sort of excitement, but not too much. It's a constant balance between looking outwards and inwards. Not too uplifting, but not too dull. If you already by now identify some feeling tired, maybe open the eyes just a little bit, allowing some lights to get in, but not too much light. Don't allow distractions, excitement. And with this final breath of meditation, we will shift our focus onto a meditation on the I, meditation on emptiness. And first of all, we can come to the conclusion we are sitting right here, right now. It's easy for us to actually engage in that thought, that conceptualization. I am sitting right here. I'm not fictional. This is the truth. I'm right here, right now. I am real. I perform functions. I speak, I move. I cast a shadow. I am real. But think, which body is sitting right here? Whose body is sitting right here? Is it your body that is sitting here when you think, I am sitting here? Are you indeed thinking about your own body or somebody else's body? Obviously, when you do this sort of practice, you're thinking about your own body. Your body is sitting right here. But does that body, does it belong to you? If not, there are no slaves around. It is your body. So is it your body that is doing the sitting around, or are you doing the sitting, or are they identical? Mark the words. Are you sitting, or is your body sitting? Or are they the same? The body is certainly sitting on the cushion, on the floor, on the sofa. It's certainly sitting, but there are two sittings taking place, or one sitting. So there can only be one sitting when you think, I am sitting here. And though the body is also sitting, it doesn't mean that there are two sittings. There's still only one sitting. Does this indicate that you are identical with your body? So the meaning of identical is to not be different in any way. But also the expressions, your gestures, your attitude, sort of do the expressions that I have a body and the body has a body have exactly the same meaning to you? They do not, because you think of yourself differently from the way you think of your body. And yet there's still only one sitting taking place, not two. Your body and the way you think about the body. If the eye was a real object, then it would be either identical with the body, or there would have to be two sittings going on. It's either one with or different from. Perhaps there's even a third possibility, namely that the body is not sitting. Think of it, I am sitting, but the body is not sitting. Then you'd be completely independent from your body. If that's the case, why do you bother sitting at all? While you have this thought, I am sitting right here, and while the body is sitting, that's how it works. Is that how we feel when we think, I am sitting here? Do you feel even more concrete than an imaginary person invented by words in relation to the body's posture? Do you feel different from that one? You're not the sound I. You're not the thought of I. The thought I does not have to sit after all. But when the sitting posture of the body and the thought I and sitting appear mixed or associated, we have an indisputable activity being done by a person called I or me. But when you analyze it, if you take the sound I by itself, that's not me. The thought of I, me, that's not the same. And the body is not me either. So when you take all these objects, aggregates, and put them aside, there's no me, there's no I whatsoever. Maybe you could just do some sort of practice pointing to your body with an imaginary finger and saying, this is the I right here. Among all the aggregates of the body, sitting right here in this absolutely real sitting body. And here's the I. That's the I. That's the lastness of this person sitting in front of you. Not outside, but there inside. Keep searching for the I among all the aggregates. If it's not outside in the cushion, the chair, the sofa, it's not in the computer, it's not on the mala, it means it has to be somewhere inside the compound of these many aggregates. But even there, looking for the I, exactly where is it? Or is it something that is labeled on top of all the many aggregates, and even then not identical with the aggregates? If you took away one of the aggregates, it would still be some sort of identification of an I. The more you search, the more you put away things that could not be the I, the nose, the ear, the eye. Just keep searching, but the more you take any aggregate away, you'll end up with nothing, because there is no place that hides away the I. And once you can refute that I, that's when you can meditate on emptiness. The very minute you meditate on the aggregates and impermanence, karma, it's not meditation on emptiness. In the beginning, you need to conceptualize. Otherwise, you cannot meditate on emptiness. But eventually, in the end, you will need to let go of conceptualization and just meditate on the clear awareness from Mahamudra. But right now, just conceptualize. It's not same as or different from. And even if you point to any aggregate among this lastness right here in front of you, you will not find an I. The Buddha said that the person or self never truly existed, not even a part of it. Never ever was there really a concrete entity. It has nominal existence established by conventions according to arbitrary but accepted rules of language, meaning it's all decorated on top of what exists, the bodily aggregates. It can perform functions of that self that may never appear through the force of its own existence. And when we appear, that appearance does not arise in the mirror of our mind through the force of a person in front of us. It appears by means of words and thoughts like a fictional character. Our mind is a magician that makes fantasy appear as reality, merely labeled, decorated on top of, merely imputed. And when wanting to meditate on emptiness, you always have to abandon dependent arising, thinking about simply finding the absence of the I, and then meditate on it. And we will dedicate, in your own way, dedicate your efforts that you may soon directly realize the wisdom, realizing emptiness, and then use the power of that wisdom to destroy all ignorance and consequent suffering, not only for yourself, but for all sentient beings, and delight and feel a sense of bliss that this is the direct way to becoming enlightened, by generating a direct realization of emptiness. Thank you.